Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Well, for me, it's morning. Is it morning for you too? For somebody, it's already afternoon. I bet I still look sleepy, but it's 9 a.m., so I guess it's fine. Yeah, good morning, good morning. Oh wow, that's great. You are already ready. So yeah, today we are talking about phrasal verbs and in particular phrasal verbs with put, but I also narrowed it down, but we are going to discuss it just a little bit later. So first of all, let's check as usual. Can you hear me well? Yes. Okay, good. That's great. Good. All right, then I think we are going to start. Yes, so we are going to start. And first of all, since this is our first lesson about phrasal verbs, I want to talk about phrasal verbs and what they are. But I want to ask you this question. What is a phrasal verb? Could you tell me? Verb with a preposition. Okay. Yeah. These are words. I see examples. Yeah. We put up decorations. Yeah. Right. So, phrasal verbs are very common in English and especially in informal contexts. Of course, we use them in other spheres of life, in formal English as well, but they are mostly common in informal English. So, a phrasal verb is a verb that is made up. I will write it as a formula for you. So, a phrasal verb is a verb plus a particle or two particles. What is a particle? A particle can be a preposition or an adverb. The main thing about these particles is that they change. First of all, let's write it. A particle can be a preposition or and an adverb. And the main function of this particle is to change the meaning of this or that phrasal verb. So that is the main feature. The phrasal verb that has a verb inside yet doesn't have the same meaning. The meaning must be changed. Yeah, so is that clear? I'll also write it down while you're answering. Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah, mostly I see that you write mostly about adverbs because usually adverbs change the meanings, but sometimes we have prepositions that may also change them, and sometimes a preposition and an adverb are combined, and we are also going to talk about that in a minute. Mm-hmm. All right, it's all good. It's all good. Then phrasal verbs, they can be separable or inseparable. What does that mean? For example, we have a sentence. Let me write it in some brighter color. A sentence. When it's cold, I put a hat on. Or we may also say, when it's cold, I put on a hat. This is an example of a separable verb. Yeah, because we can put an object, that is a hat in this case, an object, a hat, in between a verb and a particle, or after a verb, after a phrasal verb. That is a separable verb. Also, one more feature of separable verbs is, and this you have to remember, that when we use a pronoun, object pronouns, yeah, like it, them, him, and so on, we put it only in between a verb and a particle. I will show it to you. Imagine that I have a hat in my hand and I say, when it's cold, I put it on. It here is an object pronoun, and we put object pronouns in between a verb and a particle. When I will also write it down, when it's cold, I put it on. As you can see, here is an object pronoun. We always and only put it in the center of our phrasal verb. This is the feature of separable verbs. Let's also label them here. Separable phrasal verbs. Now, of course, there are inseparable phrasal verbs. Inseparable phrasal verbs. Well, as you understand, you just cannot separate them. Yeah, you just cannot. That means that you always put every object, any object that you have, after a phrasal verb. The example is going to be like this. Yeah. We are going to take a phrasal verb, put up with. Let's write it first, I guess. Put up with. And do you know, by the way, this phrasal verb? What does it mean? Put up with. Let me know. What does put up with mean? Yes, to tolerate. Very well, very well. Tolerate. Yeah, to tolerate, or to tolerate someone or something that is annoying or unpleasant. It's kind of like what annoys you, but you You're not okay with it. Yeah, inside you're not okay with it, but you show that as if it is okay. Yeah, tolerate someone or something annoying. Let's make it like that. Yeah, and so the example is my neighbors throw up parties every Friday, and I cannot put up with it anymore. And I cannot put up with it anymore. Okay, here is our phrasal verb, and here is an object, as you can see. Yeah, you should put up with your naughty children. I guess, yeah, sometimes kids are kids after all. Yeah, so put up with a phrasal verb. It is an object pronoun and you put it only after, and this is the direct object, so you can put it after. You must put it after a phrasal verb. You cannot separate them. Mostly we can say that verbs that have three parts are inseparable. So if you see a phrasal verb that consists of a verb and two particles, you can separate it. No, this is an inseparable phrasal verb. If we talk about phrasal verbs that consist of two parts, then unfortunately you just have to be very attentive when you see them in contexts, because there is no rule. There is no rule how to remember them, and yeah, so at this point you really have to pay attention to when and how and where they are used. And yeah, at the beginning, as usual, it is challenging, yeah, and because you may lose the context, you may lose the meaning, but I mean, if it is for example listening or reading, then I think it's fine because you can come back. If it's speaking, then of course it is harder, but anyways, this is the one of the most important skills that I tell to all of my students, and I repeatedly tell it to you, that when you study a different language, you have to be very attentive to the patterns. It's difficult, I agree, but then you will be rewarded with greatest knowledge of a different language. Yeah, so that was my first part. Let me see if you have any questions. Do you have any questions about phrasal verbs? If it is clear, we are going to move on to phrasal verbs with put. Mm-hmm. I'm waiting for your comments. So no problem with separating phrasal verbs with two parts, right? Yeah, I mean, there are some that are inseparable, but as I have said, there is no rule when they are separable. There is no rule how to remember when a phrasal verb is separable or inseparable. So that's the biggest problem. But yeah, in most cases, from my experience, in most cases, you can separate a phrasal verb that has two parts. Just a reminder that during that lesson, I will only answer the questions on topic, but then at the end, I will talk about, I will answer all the questions about where I'm from, the apps that I'm using, and etc. So now we are going to move on to phrasal verbs with put, but there are 21 verbs, there are 21 phrasal verbs with the verb put. So, and most of them have multiple meanings. Of course, it is difficult to cover all of them in one lesson. So I narrowed it down to one phrasal verb, that is put down. We are going to focus our attention on put down and its meanings. Right. So now you are going to see a sentence and a picture. And your task is to tell me what phrasal verb put down means in this case. Yeah? So I want you to think what it means. So the first phrasal verb is here. You can see it. We are going to start with the easiest with the easiest meanings. And so this is the picture, and now imagine the boy on his father's shoulders says, "Put me down, Daddy." In this case, what does put down mean? So in this case, what does put down mean? I want to walk. He wants to, yes. That's right. So that means to put down something that you're holding onto the floor, especially in this case here, onto the ground, but also onto the surface. So for example, I have this glass of water and I put it down on the table. Yeah, I put it down on the table. Perfect. Now let me insert the meaning here, because maybe you are writing it down. Yeah, like that. Yes, put something that you're holding onto the floor. Good. Now let's move on to the next one. Yeah. So the next one, number 2. This one. Imagine a mother says, I'm so tired. My son was crying the whole night. Can you put him down tonight? Can you put him down tonight? What does put down mean in this case? Sleeping, relaxing. Sleeping, relaxing. Well, basically we got the answer. Yes. That means to put a baby to bed. To put a baby to bed. That's right. Good. Now, moving on to the next one. This might be sad. Not might be. This is sad. This is a sad situation. I think I'm going to move a little bit slower because I see your comments a bit later when I already move on to the next point. So, anyways, let's proceed with the meaning, with the third meaning of phrasal verb put down. So this is a very sad situation because we all treat our not just treat our pets are our family, yeah, our dogs, our cats, hamsters, fish. So this is a sad situation. I hope it is not triggering for anyone. So the vets told me it was cancer and there was nothing they could do, so my poor dog had to be put down. Had to be put down. What does put down mean in this case? What does it mean in this case? Lie down. I would say it's sadder. It's more of a depressing situation. Die, yeah, it's closer to death. Go through the pain. Killed. Yes. That put down an animal, yeah, that means to kill an animal or a pet because it is old or ill. Yeah, you have to keep that in mind, that it's not violent murder. It's kill an animal because they're too old, like they cannot move anymore and they just feel pain, or because they're very ill and they cannot move, or there is like nothing that can be done. So a very sad situation. Also, now we're going to talk about numbers 2 and 3 together because I see how they can be understood wrong and they can be mixed. So the only thing that you can do is to listen and act according to the context. Yeah, when we say put down about a baby, it doesn't mean that we are going to kill an annoying child. Yeah, so this is very important. The context is always important. Yeah, so we put down a baby, that means we put a baby to bed, we put a baby to sleep, and we put down an animal because we don't want them to suffer. Yeah, we don't want them to suffer. Yeah. Okay, now the next one. The next one. I think that one, this one is an easy one. So imagine you are listening to someone and yeah, you already know the answer. Could you repeat it? I want to put it down. Yeah, so it's like write down. Write down. Write down, or we can also say take down. Take down, by the way, has also so many meanings, but one of them is put down, write down, take down, or also note down. By the way, note down is formal, is a formal phrasal verb. It is usually used in formal environment and informal writing. Yeah, and in formal writing. Yes, take notes, take notes. That's right, that's right. Right, I think that was easy. Moving on to the next one, and that is number 5. So I put money down on this new Tesla. I've put a deposit down on that house. What does it mean? Deposit money, yes. To invest. Well, yeah, that actually means to leave a deposit, or simpler, pay part of the cost and promise to pay the rest later. And not just promise, like you have to pay the rest later. For example, you want to buy a new Tesla and you have to deposit it. Yeah, you have to give some money before the rest of the price. Before you make the rest of the payment. So say like deposit for a new Tesla so that no one else would take it. Yeah, no one else would take it. $10,000. And so you put $10,000 first. That means that you put money down on this new Tesla. Yeah. So pay part of the cost and promise to now you can see it, promise to pay the rest later. Promise to pay the rest later. Yeah. Yeah, give money to buy something. Yeah. Okay, good. Also pay attention that we put money down on something. I wouldn't say that this is a part of a phrasal verb. It's more of a prepositional phrase here. So, yeah, on something. We need this preposition here. Moving on. Moving on. This situation. Also frustrating. Yeah. Why? Sorry. I will change it. So imagine this is happening at the office. One colleague is talking to another. Why did you put me down in front of the whole office? I feel awful now. So what does put down mean? Put down. Insult. Embarrass, make fun. Insult, shout at someone. Yes, yes. So this is to insult. Yeah. Make someone feel silly or not important by criticizing them. Make someone feel silly or not important by criticizing them. Not important by criticizing them. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I hope this situation has never happened to you. But let's move on to the next one. Yeah. Number 7, and imagine this is a riot, yeah, and the military were called out to put down the riot. To put down the riot. To urge, stop. Yeah. Yeah, I can already see a correct answer. Yeah. The only addition, it is to stop, but it's not simply to stop, it's to stop with force. Stop with force. Yeah, like stop with force. That means that there would be something done, not simply like say, hey people, let's stop and go home, and people just go home. No, not like that. Yeah. Next one. Next one and this one. Put down. And I have 2 examples. Let me also do it like that. My student put his son down for a Hungarian kindergarten. My student put his son down for a Hungarian kindergarten. Or, I'm happy to donate. Please put me down for $5. Put me down for $5. What does it mean here? Okay. Fund. Yeah, in the second case. Record. I understand what you want to say. By record him. Join. Yeah. So put down. Sorry. Oh. Put down in this case means to book a place. To book a place as, or to sign up as, or also to list as. Yeah, so basically what you said about joining or applying someone for something, yeah, this is right. Yeah, so in the first case we can say that my student signed his son up for a Hungarian kindergarten, so that means that his son is going to go to a Hungarian kindergarten. And I'm happy to donate, please. Well, here we cannot use book a place or sign up with money, but yeah, that means in this case that means to donate, like to donate. Yeah. Or like I'm ready to give. Yeah, something like I'm ready to give. And I really like this picture, this photo. Don't put me down for cardio. Yeah, no, don't put me down for cardio. I just can't imagine how this actress says it in one of the movies that she does. Yeah, so. Yeah, put down for. By the way, put down for is um, takes, sorry. Blacked out for a little bit. Put down for uses this preposition for with the place, as you can see, with the money, yeah, with a thing. So yeah, don't forget about this one. And the last one in this lesson. Put down. New students make mistakes, but it's okay. I just put it down to that fact that they don't know the rule yet. I just put it down to that fact that they don't know the rule yet. Tolerate. Consider. Learn. Advice. Okay, all right. Actually, I think I will add here put down to, and put down to means be the reason for. Be the reason for, or be because of. So new students make mistakes, it's okay. It is because of the fact that they don't know the rule yet, or the reason for that is that they don't know the rule yet. Yeah, or we can use a phrasal verb. I just put it down to the fact that they don't know the rule yet. No, it's not like ignore. I just put down to means to understand the reason for that, and or like label it. Yeah, label it as a fact that they don't know something yet, or maybe people don't have experience yet, or maybe people have never been to this or that place. You know, it also depends on the situation. Like, for example, if we talk about office situation, then it is Imagine John. Yeah, John is a newcomer and he's still learning, and he makes a lot of mistakes at work. Yeah, and maybe he filled in some table wrong, and his colleagues put it down to his inexperience, like he doesn't have this experience yet. So it's kind of all right and not all right at the same time. Yeah. I mean, at work, if we talk about learning situation, then of course, if you don't know the rule, you cannot you cannot be assessed on that. If you start using this rules, this or that rule before you learned it, you're experimenting with language, and that means that you are ready to progress. You're ready to move on further. Yeah, that is it. That is it. 9 phrasal verbs in one lesson. And we also discussed what phrasal verbs are, yeah, and how they're built. So, yeah, amazing, amazing. And now, I see. Save the video. Of course I will. Of course I will. I will also upload the previous live. Only today in the morning, when I was about to start this live, I understood that I haven't uploaded that one. I will do that for sure, and I will share the links in my channel. All right, because unfortunately Instagram stories, and Instagram doesn't like when we share links in stories. So I will share it in my channel. So the channel is in Instagram. It is called Boost Your English. So join the channel. Then of course it is going to be here. I mean, in your feed. Yeah. Right. Now, what I want you to do is remember one of the phrasal verbs, or I mean, the phrasal verb is the same. Yeah, put down one of the meanings and make your own sentence, because it is great, when you look at the context and you try to figure out the meaning and you think about it. It is an amazing practice because you make your brain think. Well, let me put it as a native speaker. Yeah, but basically you make your brain think. And this is very important because we cannot learn all the words, all the phrases, and all the expressions. So when you understand something from the context and when you can figure it out, it is also one of the skills, but that I really like to develop in my students. But new vocabulary becomes your vocabulary and becomes vocabulary that you can use only when you make your own examples, when you make them personal, when you make an example about yourself, about your friends, about your colleagues, about something that touches you. So now this is very important. Remember one or maybe 2 or 3 meanings of the phrasal verb, put down and make an example. You can write it here now in the chat, or you can comment with it, like when you come up with an example, you can comment with it when I upload this live video, or you can send me a DM and I will check them. So or you can just write it in your notebook, in your copybook, yeah, and practice this way. So do it however you feel comfortable, but make examples. Examples are very important, and make examples about yourself. Yeah, if it is difficult about yourself, at least make any examples. Yeah. And the last thing that I want to talk about today before I will answer your questions, is that I'm sure that some of you know, but for some it may be new information, but on May the 20th, on the 20th of May, I'm not going to speak like Yoda. On the 20th of May, I release a book. The book is called Boost Your Grammar, and this book is all about tenses. There are, I want to say 10 chapters, but it feels like 12 because there are also exercises to practice and bonuses. I wanted to start with 10 chapters. This I remember. I need to refresh. So, but while making this book, I understood that actually I need to give you more info about this or that rule, and I just couldn't skip that. So there are 3 bonuses at the moment. I'm thinking of adding the 4th one. I'm not sure if that's relevant or not, but useful for sure. And I also included comparison tables because the most difficult part is not learning a tense, but to understand when and in which situations you have to use this or that tense. And that's why I inserted comparison tables. So, for example, there is a lot of confusion between past simple and present perfect. There is a comparison table that you can use and that you can look at and simply understand what it means, where it is used, why we need, maybe past simple but not present perfect. Yeah. And the book is available on Monday. Yeah, I released it on Monday. It is an online book. It's not a physical book. It's an online book. But if you because why it is an online book? Because I inserted links to other exercises and to some videos that I have prepared for you. That's why it is an online book. But of course, if you want to print it out, you can do so. But I sell it as an online book. And if you want to get this book firsthand at the lowest price, here is the link. Here's the link. I sent it in the chat, but I'm also going to send it to the channel so that you can sign up, and you will be the first on Monday to get an invitation to get this book. You will be surprised with the price. Because I also didn't want to make it expensive. I understand that we all come from different environments, different places. But remember that this book is about tenses. Yeah, so tenses like present simple, present continuous, past simple, past continuous, present perfect, past perfect, present perfect continuous, past perfect continuous. Then we talk about how we can express future in the English language, future continuous, future perfect. Yeah, also we talk about auxiliary verbs and a lot of information. So I hope that you will like this book. Then sign up here, or I will upload to the channel. And now I'm ready to answer your questions. I remember that there was a question about the application that I use. About the application that I use. So the app is Mira. You can see the name here. It is So Mira is an interactive board, and you can go there and create your interactive boards. But if you have a free of charge account, if you don't pay any money, you can create only 3 boards. But they are like infinity boards. For example, here on this board I create all our live lessons. So far we had 6. Oh my god, we have had 6 lessons. So you can see here is the present perfect, past simple, must and have to, advanced idioms, mistakes, then second conditional that we discussed on Tuesday, and today is phrasal verbs. Also, as you can see, my frames, they are longer and longer, so you can go there and you can organize by the way you study board there. I know that some people love doing so because then you can connect to your, for example, English studying board from anywhere in the world. Yes, you can use it for free, but maximum 3 boards. Maximum 3 boards. If you want to have more boards, then you have to pay. Yeah. Do you have any other questions? So, what other questions do you have? Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining today. Yeah, I know that this is Saturday and this is a weekend, but I'm really glad that you could make and spare some time for the lesson. Okay. Right. So, since there are no questions, I'm going to wrap it up and yes. Could you type the name of the app? Yeah, sure. It's Mira Board. It's Mira Board. How often do you make live lessons? 2 times a week. That is Tuesday at 5 p.m. Budapest time and Saturday 9 a.m. also Budapest time. If it is hard for you, to understand what time is Budapest time, just listen to it. Then you can also go to World Time Buddy. World Time Buddy is a website that provides you with information about timing. It is very convenient to use because you just insert your city and then the city that I'm in, that is Budapest. And that's it. You can compare the time. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. So, have a wonderful weekend. I thank you so much for your compliments. I really, really appreciate it. Every time I give these live lessons, you just boost my confidence, So with this, I will go and leave my Saturday and Sunday, and I'll see you very, very soon on Tuesday. If you have any suggestions for live, like if you, one of the topics that I know that you are interested in is modal verbs, but if you have any suggestions for live, also DM them to me. I want to serve you. I want to provide you with the information that you need. All right, then see you on Tuesday, or see you in posts and reels in the comments or in DMs. Bye bye.